start. Everyone got a band or something handy? Can you all see me? I'll just move my screen so we're going to start with our usual, reminding ourselves of our setup neutral posture. So feet hip width apart, knees nice and soft, and we're just going to rock it forwards, just leaning over the balls of the feet and then moving back over the heels. Just rocking forwards and backwards, just finding that slight core engagement as we're leaning forwards. Just get that 30% core engagement going on. Nice deep core muscles contracting there. And then we're going to come back to center. So just bring the weight back to center. So weight feels nice and evenly distributed throughout the feet, throughout the foot. And then we're going to squeeze the tailbone between the legs. So just rocking that pelvis backwards and then forward. So just loosening off through that lower spine, backwards and forwards, a few pelvic tilts. And then to find neutral, we're just going to slightly tuck the tailbone between the legs, keeping the knees nice and soft. Draw up through the pelvic floor as well. So just a nice slight tightening of the pelvic floor, again about 30% contraction, and then crown of the head up towards the ceiling. So nice and tall through the spine. We're going to bring the shoulders up towards the ears and then sliding the shoulder blades down the back of the back. Nice big shoulder rolls. Start to inhale as we come up and exhale as we slide those shoulder blades down. And then we're going to slide the shoulder blades down and back. We can take a nice inhale breath, keeping the core nice and strong, reaching up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale breath as we lean back. Just open up the front of the body, but try not to overextend the spine. So nice and gently just warming up through the spine, and exhale as we bring everything back to center again. So inhale breath as we come back. And exhale as we come back to center. Just grabbing hold of the hand or the wrist, we're just going to gently pull, leaving the hips directly above the feet. So try not to jut the hip out too much. And then exhale as we rebuild the spine. Same on the other side, gentle pull. And then exhale as we come back to center. Just relaxing the arms down to the side, we'll take it into our roll down to make sure we move the spine in all directions. So take an inhale breath, tailbone stays tucked between the legs as we start to bring the chin towards the chest. And then just rolling the spine down. So think of the spine like a bicycle chain. Just roll it down, relaxing through the arms, relaxing through the head and neck. Keeping the knees soft, feel that nice gentle pull into the hamstrings. You can have a slight little bounce there if you like. Just making sure the knees stay soft. Just nod the head yes, shake the head no. And take a deep inhale breath as we exhale. We're going to rebuild the spine. So scoop up through the tummy button towards the spine and just rolling back out. Just letting the arms dangle as we start to roll up and out. And then again at the top, just reset the shoulders down and back. We're going to take it into a tabletop pose now. So I don't know if you can all see me. So taking it up into a full body stretch. This time the legs stay nice and straight. As we exhale, we're going to push the weight back over the heels as we start to hinge down with the hips as we push that weight back, and then really reach it forward with the arms, really long through the spine, really long through the arms. Feel that nice stretch down the back of the legs. Take an inhale breath as we exhale again. We're going to come back into our block position, so relaxing through head, neck and shoulders. Inhale breath, exhale, scoop the tummy up and roll the spine back up and back out. Nice and slowly. And again at the top, a nice little reset of the shoulders. Just bringing the arms out to about 45 degrees now. We're just going to rotate through the spine, knocking everything off. Keeping the hips facing forwards, gentle rotation. And then just start to slow that down. As we start to slow it down, just allow the arms to come back to the sides of the body. And then we're going to bring the heels together and we're going to turn the toes out on the diagonal. So there should be like a 90-degree angle between the feet there. We're going to work the calves a little bit now. So take it up into a full body stretch again, keeping that tailbone tucked underneath. We're going to come up onto the tiptoes. So really challenging the balance. Crown of the head towards the spine, lifting up through the heels. Take an inhale breath, and as we exhale, we're just going to slowly place the heels back down. Keeping the legs together. So almost imagine you've zipped up from the heel down towards the pubic bone. So to bring the arms back up and take it back up into that lift, up onto the tiptoes. Nice inhale breath here, nice and strong through the core. And then exhale as we come back down again. Let's just do 2 more. So inhale it up, arms lengthened, reach for the ceiling, crown of the head towards the ceiling as well. Inhale breath, exhale coming back down, nice and gently with the heels. We're going to stay up on this next one. So coming up, reaching up towards the ceiling. Then we're going to bring the hands behind the head. We're going to keep the spine as straight as we can. And then we're going to bend through the knees. So nice and gently coming down as far as we can, nice and deep. Keeping the spine as upright as we can as well. Exhale as we come back up. And then bring those knees together. Let's go for 4 more of those. So inhaling down. Almost imagine you sliding the back down the wall. And exhale, pushing back up. You'll feel this one in the quads. Zip the knees together at the top. Let's go down for the last 2. Nice and deep, nice and slow. Exhale, pushing back up. Squeeze, that's it. Bring the knees together. Last one. Inhale as we lower. Nice and deep. And exhale, we're coming back up, pushing through the balls of the feet. Keep those heels lifted. And then just bring the heels down onto the floor. Relaxing the arms down to the side. We're going to come to the end of our mat now and take it down onto the floor. We're going to come into tabletop again. So just tucking that tailbone under. Sorry, you can't see my head. Reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Nice full body stretch. Inhale breath and exhale again. Pushing the weight backwards over the heel. Lengthening through the arms. Framing the face with the arms as well. Pushing that weight back. Nice little stretch there down the back of the legs. Softening through the knees, we're going to bring our hands towards the floor. And we're going to walk it out into our plank. So coming down the mat, walking it down the mat, out into plank. There we go. So wrists underneath the shoulders. Nice and low with the bottom, but not hanging the hips. Keep that bottom level with the body. We're going to hold it here. Just waking up through the core for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just gently bring the knees down. Have a little sit back into the heels, take it into our child's pose. Lengthen out again through the arms, through the spine. Couple of focus breaths and just walking the hands over to one side. Feeling that stretch into the side of the body. Really breathing into the bottom and the sides of the lungs. Stretching across the rib cage and then walking back through and over to the other side. That's it. And then coming back to center, coming all the way down onto our fronts. We're going to start with the spine strengthening exercise. We're going to go with swimming, everybody's favourite. Bringing the arms out in front. Level 1 swimming first. Again, scooping that tummy button up towards the spine. So slightly pushing that pubic bone down into the floor. Find that nice neutral back. Gaze down to the mat. We're just going to exhale as we lift and lengthen. Right arm, left leg. So think length. Squeeze from the glute. And then inhale as we lower back down, going up with the other side. So exhale as we lift, keeping that tummy lifted. And inhale, lower back down. So really drawing that tummy button up towards the spine there. Squeeze from the glute. So imagine somebody's pulling the hand and foot away from you. Exhaling up. Inhale as we lower. Level 2, we're coming up with both arms and both legs. So lift and lengthen. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and then lowering it back down. Let's go again. So exhale as we lift, lengthen, keeping the arms and legs as straight as we can for 3, 2, 1, and then lowering back down. Level 3, we're going to take it up with both arms and both legs. Work at your own level though, and we're going to swim at the top. So just pulsing opposite arm, opposite leg. 2, keeping the gaze down, keep the neck long. 1, lengthen, and then inhale as we come back down to the floor. So again for 3 more reps. Inhale, breath. Exhale as we come up, keeping that tummy lifted, keeping that feet going down into the floor. Holding here for level 2 or swimming for level 3. 2, 1, lengthen, and then inhale as we lower it back down to the floor. Last 2 reps. Inhale, breath, exhale, coming up. Really nice and long through the arms and the legs. Level 3, swim. 2, nice happy. 1, lengthen, and then inhale as we lower it back down to the floor. Last one, let's do it for 4 breaths, last one. Inhale, breath, exhale, coming up, lift, lengthen, and swim for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice carrot, nice twist. Lengthen, and then lower it back down to the mat. Well done. So just pushing back up onto the knees, we're going to sit back into the heels, taking it into our child's pose, just lengthening through the spine. If you want to just bring the arms down by the sides of the feet and just bring the head down towards the mat. Just relax the spine there. Take some focused breaths. And then bring the hands back up onto the floor. We're going to come up onto all 4s. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees in underneath the hips, nice neutral spine. If you want to have a little bit of a rock forwards and backwards, find that nice comfortable position for the wrists. If they're a little bit in front of the shoulders, that's fine too. So just coming forwards and backwards. And then we're going to come into our all 4s position and work shoulder stabilization. So what we do here is just lower down, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then we're going to push back up and we're going to part the shoulder blades now. So just coming up and down, and we're going to find neutral shoulder. So just somewhere in the middle of those 2 movements. We're just lifting and lowering into the shoulder. So let's find that midpoint, so nice and strong shoulders away from the ears. We're going to turn the toes underneath and we're going to come up into a little knee hover. So take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to come up and hover the knees above the mat. So imagine we're balancing a tray of drinks here on the spine. We're going to hold it for 3. Pausing, 2. Lovely. And 1, and just gently bring the knees back down to the floor. So try not to plop down to the floor, just gently lower the knees down. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're coming up again. Imagine we're balancing that tray of drinks on the spine. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and then slowly lower it back down. Level 2 for that exercise. We're going to step it out into plank. So again, inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to hold it up here for level 1. Level 2, we're going to take a step back, still balancing that tray of drinks on the spine, back, in, and in. Just making sure there's no movement, out, in. 2 more reps, out, lengthen through the legs, out. Perfect. In, in. Last one. Out, out, in, and in. Working those shoulders as well there. Gently placing the knees back down onto the mat. Got the word then. So keeping wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Just going to do a nice spine stretch now. So we've got neutral spine here now at the moment, nice and long. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to push up into the spine. So have a little look at the tummy, scoop the tummy button up, pushing up into the spine, parting the shoulder blades. We're going to inhale, come back to neutral spine, and then exhale as we come down. Just let the head follow the line of the spine there, taking it in, just looking about a metre in front of the hands. Inhale it back to neutral. Exhale as we scoop the tummy up, have a little look at the tummy button. Inhale it back to neutral. Exhale as we squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, coming back. Exhale it up. Last one. A little bit of back extension, so inhaling down. Exhale as we extend through the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then come back to neutral. Well done. So we're going to sit back into the heels now. Coming up into a standing kneeling position, so just bringing the knees out on the diagonal, so almost as wide as the mat. We're just going to warm up through the glutes now. So what you need to do is bring the hands behind the head, nice and tall through the spine, working the glutes here. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're coming up and squeezing that tailbone through the legs at the top, and then slowly lowering back down onto the heels. Exhale as we come up, squeeze, and inhale as we come down. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. And inhale as we come down. We're going to add a little bit of rotation in now. So as we come to the top, we're going to rotate through to the side. So you can't even see me, can you? Getting carried away. So rotate back to centre, back to the heels, nice and slow, nice and controlled. Exhale it up and rotate over to the other side. Let's do one more to each side. And rotate. And last one. And rotate. And then coming back onto the heels again. We're going to take it back out into plank. Bit of a planky one today. So bringing the wrists to underneath the shoulders, stepping the feet out. We're going to use the whole body because it's a whole body exercise, plank. So stepping the feet out, coming into our plank. Holding it here for level 1. Level 2, we're going to leg raise. So squeezing from the glute and then pop that foot back down. Exhale it up, squeeze and back down. 2 more on each side. Really working those deep abdominals, engaging through the quads as well. Last ones. Exhale it up, squeeze, and then inhale it down. Last one. And back down again. Gently bringing the knees down to the floor. Have a little sit back into child's pose. Quick breather. It's warm in here. I put my heating on about 10 minutes ago, which I haven't. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. So what was it? There we go. We're just going to do a bit of practicing of neutral and imprint. So coming down to the spine, feet hip width apart. Just pay attention here to where the hip bones and the pubic bone are. So neutral spine. Hip bones, pubic bone are level. So you'll have a slight curve in that lower spine. Advanced Pilates moves, if you can maintain that neutral spine, great. If not, we always default to imprint. So imprint is when the pubic bone comes higher than the hip bone. So we're sinking that lower back down into the floor. So neutral spine, imagine you have a grape under that lower arch of the back. We're touching the grape but not crushing it. imprint, we're crushing that break down into the floor. So imprint's probably the safest way to work in this exercise. But if you feel that you can maintain that neutral spine, give it a go. You can always default to imprint. So setting the core, so really engaging through the core, not moving through the spine or the hips. We're going to bring the legs up into tabletop position. Popping the hands on the thighs. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to push the right hands into the right knee. So really engaging through the core. You'll feel that really deep core muscle working there. And then inhale, release. Exhale, we're going to push the left knee into the left hand. So you'll really feel the core engage. And then release. Just keep going. So there's no movement. You will feel that in the transverse abdominis, which you should. It's a nice deep core muscle. Can everyone feel that? So push. So there's no movement. And release. Exhale as we push. Inhale, release. Let's do 2 more on each side. Last ones. Exhale as we push. Inhale, release. And last one. Exhale, push. Inhale, release. Well done. Now we're going to bring the hands to the temples. We're going to take an inhale breath, bringing the chin towards the chest, and then exhale, coming up with the head and shoulders, looking down into the tummy button. Inhale, breath to hold. Exhale as we slowly come back down again, just prepping the abdominals. So inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, lifting up through the shoulders. Inhale as we hold, and then exhale as we come all the way back down again. Let's go again, 2 more times. Inhale, chin comes to the chest. Exhale, lift up through the shoulders, keeping the knees nice and still. Inhale, hold, and exhale as we come back down. Last one. Inhale it up. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold, and then exhale as we come back down again. Well done. Bringing the hands now behind the head. So interlinking the fingers, elbows out nice and wide. Take an inhale breath as we exhale. So the hands are going to support the weight of the head a little bit here. So coming up, pushing down into imprint, and then we're going to single leg stretch. So we're going to reach one leg away. As we exhale, inhale it back. Exhale, go with the other side, making sure there's no lift from the spine, no doming of the tummy. One leg, then the other. Inhale, return. Exhale it up, away. Inhale it back. Perfect. Keep it going. Let's go for 2 more to each side. Really lengthen that leg away. The lower the leg is to the floor, the harder you'll work the core, but just make sure we can maintain that neutral or imprint spine. Last ones. Inhale it back, and last one. Back, we're going to lift up a little bit higher. We're going to hold it here for 3, 2, 1, and release back down to the floor. Hug the knees into the chest. Have a little roll around on the lower back. Well done. So next exercise, we're going for double leg. So just have a nice breather. Pop the feet down on the floor actually. Just have a nice little ab stretch. Bring the arms down to the side and just roll the knees over, but keep both hips down on the mat if we can. Just feeling that nice stretch down one side of the abdominals, and then bringing the knees back and rolling over to the other side. Nice little stretch there. And then bring the knees back to center again. Again, we're going to bring the hands behind the head, so interlinking the fingers just to help support the weight of the head. Set the spine in either neutral or imprint, and then we're going to bring the legs back up into tabletop position. Obviously, at any point, if it's too much on the neck, bring the head down towards the floor. If it's too much on the core, just bring the knees in for a little hug. So take an inhale breath as we bring the chin towards the chest. Exhale as we lift up through the head and shoulders. We're then going to send both legs away on the exhale breath. Inhale as we come back to tabletop. So exhale away, inhale back. So just increasing the weight into that lever length. Away, inhale, return. Keeping the heels together, keeping the legs together. Let's go for a few more. Make it even harder. Bring the hands to the side of the knee. We can exhale the arms away as well here. Inhale, return. So really working down the abdominals. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, bring it back. Let's go for 4 more. Lovely, Abby. Keep it going. Inhale, return. Exhale, lengthen. Lost count. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Exhale away. Reach, reach, reach. And inhale, bring it back. Well done. Have a little roll again. Let's give the abdominals a little bit of a rest now. If you've got a ball handy, great. We're going to work shoulder bridge. So back to glutes again. If you haven't got a ball, don't worry. We can just pretend. So bringing the heels to underneath the knee. So a little bit closer to the bottom. Spine still nicely imprinted down, that tailbone's tucked under. We're going to bring the ball in between the hands and then anchor those shoulders down as well here. So feet are in, heels underneath the knees. Take an inhale breath to prepare. As we exhale, we're going from neutral to imprint, so pushing the spine down and then using the glutes, peeling the spine up, squeezing the glutes at the top. Inhale, breath, hold. Exhale, slowly place the spine back down on the mat. 1 vertebrae at a time, so just peeling down, that's it, lovely. Back to neutral spine, so little gap between the waist, the mat and the lower spine. Exhale, sink it, and then peel it up. Create that nice straight slope from the knee down to the shoulder, so really squeeze those glutes at the top. Inhale, breath. Exhale, slowly place spine back down again. Control it back down. On this next one, we're going to stay up. So exhale, breath, pelvic tilt, peel the spine. Lift the hips nice and high, squeeze the glutes. Take an inhale breath there. Here, we're going to post the ball underneath the bottom. So keeping those hips nice and high, and then bring the ball behind the head. So we're going to go for 4 exchanges. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the glutes. If we haven't got a ball, just pretend. 1, 2, keeping those hips nice and high. Leaving enough room for the ball. 3. And last one. Working the shoulders a little bit here as well. And 4. Ball stays behind the head now. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly place the spine back down on the floor, 1 vertebrae at a time. Perfect. 3 more. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, tilt and peel, keeping those knees nice and still as well. Nice straight slope from the knee to the shoulder, and then feed that ball underneath and over the top. 1. Keeping those glutes squeezed. 2. 3. Last one. And 4. Inhale breath. Exhale, start to slowly peel the spine back down onto the floor. Let's go again. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, tilt, peel. Hips come up nice and high. Really squeeze the glutes at the top. Keeping those knees nice and steady. Ball comes under and over. 1. 2. 3. Ball comes back behind the head. Take an inhale breath here. Exhale to slowly start to place the spine back down onto the floor. Well done. Taking the legs out nice and straight now, we're going to roll up into seated. So take an inhale breath. As we exhale, bring the arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing, anchor the shoulders. Take an inhale breath again as we bring the chin towards the chest and start to exhale as we start to peel the spine up from the floor, keeping those heels down if we can. So nice and slowly coming up. Use the elbow if you need to, and then sit nice and tall at the top. We're going to spine stretch here. So we're going to reach forwards over an imaginary beach ball on the lap. So bring the arms parallel with the legs, reaching forward with the arms, backwards with the waist. Take an inhale breath, keeping that nice C shape in the spine. We're going to roll it back down again. So rolling down, down, down. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Keep those heels down, that looks really good. Taking it out into full body stretch at the bottom. Inhale breath, exhale to bring the arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing, anchor shoulders. Inhale breath, as we exhale, start to lift up, peeling the spine up from the floor, keeping that C shape in the spine so we're not coming up straight here. We're just going to reach it forwards. Let's do one more of those. So keeping that C curve, start to roll the spine back down again. Lovely. Take those arms behind the head. Inhale, breath. Exhale, arms come up. Palms facing, anchor shoulders, chin to chest. And start to peel that spine up and over. Reach it forward with the arms, backwards with the waist. And then we're going to sit up nice and straight. I'm going to show you an alternative to that roll down now. So it's without the C curve to begin with. It's called neck pull. So sat nice and tall on the sit bones, so the crown of the head's up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the hands to the outside of the temples like that. And we're going to hinge backwards. So there's no C curve here. We're going to hinge it back from the hips, keeping that spine nice and straight until a point where we can't any longer, and we have to then go into that nice C curve, rolling the spine down. Head comes to the floor, keeping the hands by the side of the head. Exhale, chin to chest is a little bit harder. Pushing it up and then lengthening at the top. So if you don't like that option, go back to your roll down, your normal roll down. So nice and tall through the spine. We're going to lead it backwards. Hinge, 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 hinge till we can't no longer hinge, and then C curve where the spine collapses down, nice and controlled. Head to the floor. Inhale breath, exhale, coming back up. And then lengthening at the top. Nice and tall. Let's do two more. So we're hinging it back. And then rounding through and coming down. Inhale breath, exhale, chin to chest. Peeling back up again. And then lengthen out through the spine at the top. Last one. So we're hinge, 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 and then roll. Perfect, nice. Exhale, chin to chest, and peeling back up again. And then sit nice and tall at the top. Well done. What's next on my agenda? A bit of a different type of saw for you today. So seated exercise this time. So rather than legs out straight in front, because if you've got tight hamstrings or tight lower back, it can be a bit uncomfortable. So we can add a little bit of a bend into the knee if you need to on this one. We'll start with a bend in the knee. Those that haven't got tight hamstrings. So we're sat really tall with the spine again, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Again, hands by the temples. We're going to twist round to the left-hand side, and then we're going to bend and bring that right elbow down to the inside of the right knee. We're going to twist a little bit further, staying twisted, we're coming back up to center, and then back, rotating back to center. So let's do it to the other side this time. So we're rotating, we're then bending, bringing the elbow down to the inside of the knee, If we can rotate a little bit further, use the knee to assist if you like. And then we're coming back up to center, rebuild the spine, and inhale it back to the front. Everyone got that? So exhale, rotate. Bring the arm down, inside of the knee, pushing a little bit further if we can. And then coming back up, and then bring it back to the front. So if you don't need the bend in the knee, we can bring the legs nice and straight here. So exhale, twist. Inhale, bend. If we can, bring the elbow still towards the knee. Twist that little bit further. Really lovely for the spine, this one. And then coming back up. And back to center again. Let's just do a couple more on each side. Exhale it over. Inhale as we lower it down. Bringing that elbow all the way down if we can. Twist. And then bring it back. And back to the front. One more on each side. And last one. Twist a little bit further, and then bringing it back to center again, and then back to the center, properly back to center. Relaxing the arms down to the side, have a little roll of the shoulders. Next one I have, we're going to have a little practice with teaser from seated. So back onto the mat, feet in line with the hips, arms out, level with the shoulders. So again, for this one, we need a nice long spine. So nice and tall, nice and wide through the collarbone. We're going to take an inhale breath. As we exhale, coming down onto the back of the sit bones, and we're going to bring the legs up into tabletop position. So just balancing on the back of the sit bones, lovely. Nice and lay. And then we're going to place one foot down on the floor and back up. Really working the hip flexors here, keeping that nice long spine, nice and wide through the collarbone. Just one foot then the other. That's level one. Level two, both feet and lift. Heel tap and lift. Level three, lengthening through the legs. I hate demoing this one. Inhale as we lower, exhale as we lift. Inhale, lower. Balance in the back of those sit bones. Let's go for three more. 1, 2, I'm shaking, and 3, well done. Placing the feet back onto the floor. Just have a little lean in over the knees there, just relax the hip flexors off. Couple of focus breaths. It's 20 to 8, blimey. And then we're going to do a little bit of glute work. So coming down onto our side. We're also going to work the shoulder a little bit here. So we're going to come down, bringing the shoulder, elbow underneath the shoulder. The legs are going to be slightly out in front, so we're in a bit of a banana shape. Nice triangle here between the waist and the mat. If you've got any shoulder problems, you can come down onto the arm or the hand. It's entirely up to you. But just working the obliques slightly as well there. We're going to come up into a single leg raise. So nice and easy. We're just going to exhale as we lift, squeeze, inhale, lower back down. So this is going to really work the hip, this one. Squeeze that leg up, keeping that triangle between the waist and the mat. Keeping that shoulder away from the ear, lifting and lowering. Perfect. Looks good. So you're going to really feel this one in the hip, side of the bottom, glutes. Just keep it going. Exhale, raise. Inhale as we control it back down. So it's not a very high raise. Make sure we keep the knee, top of the foot facing the front as well. So try not to turn the leg out. It doesn't have to be a high movement. Let's go one more time. Exhale as we lift. Inhale, we're going to bring the foot level with the hip now, and then we're going to arc. So I'm just going to move my computer so you can see my legs. So we're just going to bring the foot over the front. So it's almost like we're tracing a rainbow and then back over the back. So over the front and over the back. Keeping those hips nice and still. Keeping that shoulder away, try not to sink into the shoulder. Perfect. Lovely. Let's go for 3 more. 1. Just start to feel it's heating up a little bit on the side of the bottom. 2. And last one. 3. We're going to bring the leg level with the hip. We're going to really point the toe and then we're going to flex the foot. So point the toe, flex the foot. I saw that, Harry McDonald. Pulling faces at me. So flexing and pointing, flexing and pointing. Everyone feeling that? Yes, good. Well, not good, that makes me sound evil, doesn't it? Let's go for 1 more. We're going to flex and then we're going to baby pull. So quite fast pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7. Try not to sink into that shoulder. 3, perfect. 2, and 1, and relax the leg down. Well done. Just bend the knees in, give the bottom a bit of a rub there. Not an easy one, that, sorry. And then we're going to work the obliques with a bit of a side bend. So let's come up onto the hand now, bringing the hand underneath the shoulder. If you want to come from the elbow though, you can do. So we're going to start on this level, so it's still hard. From the knees, we're going to come up into side plank, lifting the hips up nice and high. Just 1 second, sorry. So we're coming up nice and high. Inhale, breath, then we're going to exhale, bring the arm over, squeeze those hips up a little bit higher, and then back, and then exhale. So we're not bringing the hips all the way down, we're just going into a nice side bend. Inhale it back. So really squeeze those hips up. And if you want to, we can go from full side plank. So exhale, lift, inhale, return. Exhale, coming up. We're going to go for 4 more. Inhale back. Take it at your level, remember. Last 2. If it's hurting the wrist, come down onto the elbow. And last 1. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. Let's hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Try not to collapse down. Control it all back down to the floor. Give the shoulder a little bit of a roll there. Quite hard on the shoulders. And then we're going to twizzle round and work the other side of the glutes and hip. So coming down onto the elbow, directly underneath the shoulder. Nice triangle there in between the waist and the mat. We're going to lengthen the legs out, but bring the legs slightly out in front. So keeping the knee and the foot facing me, or not in Abby's case. And we're going to lift, exhale, lift. Single leg raise. Inhale, lower it down. Try not to sink into that shoulder. And like I said, if you've got problems with the shoulder, you can come all the way down onto the arm. So lifting and lowering. Control, even controlling it back down. Let's go for 4 more. So it's not a large movement, keeping those hips nice and still. 3, 2, and last 1. We're going to bring that leg back to hip level. We're going to work that little rainbow, so coming over the front and then out to the back. Don't worry if you're not all the way down to the floor there, it doesn't matter. So just try and trace a nice steady rainbow rather than a squiggly line. So controlling it all from here. Perfect. Let's keep it going. Let's go for 3 more. 1. Don't sink into that shoulder. Keep that nice triangle. 2. And 3. Bringing that leg level with the hip. We're then going to flex and point. Flex and point. Flex, point. Let's go for 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Flex. We're then going to pulse for 10, 9, 8, out, 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 7, 6, nearly there, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release back down. Ooh, blimey. Bending through the knees, give the bottom a good rub or a punch or whatever you need to do. And then we're going to take it into our side plank. So, coming back up onto the hand if you prefer, staying on the elbow, coming from the knees, a bit easier than coming up into full side plank. So we'll start from the knees. So we're coming up and we're staying up. So inhale, breath to prepare. Exhale as we lift. Lifting those hips up nice and high. Inhale, breath, and exhale. Then sweep the arm over, lifting those hips a little bit higher. And then inhale it back to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale it back. And if you want to, full side plank. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. That's it. Keep it going. Let's go for 3 more. 1, 2. Keep that shoulder nice and strong. And last one, we're going to hold it for 3, 2, 1. And control it back down. Nice and gently. Well done. Coming up into seated again. Give the shoulder a little bit of a roll. That was hard. Bit of a shake out. And then coming down onto our sit bones again. Oh gosh, it's nearly 10 to. Right, let me just do a little challenge for you for this next one. So, feet hip width apart. We're going to work with open leg rocker, but we don't have to do full open leg rocker here. So bringing the hands to the outside of the shins. Again, sat nice and tall on the sit bones. We're going to hinge it backwards. So we're on the back of those sit bones. And then we're going to exhale as we bring one leg up and other leg up. So the legs are quite wide here. Take an inhale breath. If we can, we're going to lengthen out through that leg. And then bring it back to tabletop. Lengthen out through the other leg. And tabletop. So just having a little play. So we're making almost like a J shape with the spine. So the spine's nice and straight. And then it just tucks under at the bottom. So just lengthen and back. Lengthen and back. So level 2. We're going out with both legs. So straightening through both legs. And bringing them back. If we can, we should be up by the ankles. Let's go for another one. And then full open leg rocker. So we're going to come back, rolling back onto the shoulders, and then try and balance back at the top. I hate demoing these ones. Pressure's on. So rolling back, they're hard, which is why I say it's a bit of a challenge. So straighten, lengthen at the top, and then roll it back to the shoulders and balance. There's a bit of homework for you whilst you're watching the telly. Let's go for a couple more. Ooh. Last 2. But if you're not comfortable with that, just keep going with that position, bending and straightening. Last one. Roll it back, and then balancing at the top. Well done. Bring the feet down onto the floor. Let's do a little seated stretch now. So bringing the soles of the feet together, we're going to bring them as close to the body as we can. Hands on, cradle the toes with the hands, and then we're just going to lean in. Again, have a little look at the tummy button, And just ease the knees out to the side. So we're leaning over the feet, feeling that lovely stretch into the hip and the inside of the thighs. And just take some nice focused breaths here. I'm really regretting putting the heating on before the class. And then just coming out of that stretch. We're then going to bring the legs out straight in front, bringing the right foot up to the inside of the left leg. We're then going to bring the left arm over, right hand goes behind you, and we're just going to rotate, pushing the elbow into the knee, and just hold it there. And then just bringing it back to centre. Same on the other side. So sliding left foot to the inside of right knee. We're going to bring that left hand behind you, elbow to knee, and then just turn and look over the shoulder, look behind you. Get that nice rotation into the spine. And then bring it back to centre again. We're then just going to stretch out the oblique, so widening out through the legs, bringing the right hand out in front, spread the fingers here, and we're going to sweep the left arm over the head, reaching down towards that right foot. And then we're just going to walk that hand away, bringing the shoulder through. So almost look up towards the ceiling, get that really nice stretch into the side of the body. And then bring it back up to centre again. Same on the other side. So left hand comes down, spread the fingers, right arm comes over towards that left foot, and then walk the hands away. So just bringing that shoulder through, looking up towards the ceiling. And a really nice stretch into the obliques. And then coming back up, we're then going to come down to our front. So stretching down the abdominals with a nice cobra stretch. So bringing the feet out nice and wide, relaxing the bottom, hands underneath the shoulders. Again, spread the fingers, index fingers pointing forward, shoulders down and back. Inhale, breath as we exhale. We're going to push the floor away with the hands, keeping those hips down the floor. Again, relaxing through the bottom so it doesn't pinch the lower spine. That's it. And then you might want to just lower it down a little bit halfway. We're going to come up onto the knee, so just brace the core so we don't hurt the lower back. So coming up and over, sitting back between the heels this time, so lowering that body weight. Upper body rather, sorry, down to the floor. You can actually widen out through the legs a little bit there if you want a bit more of a stretch into the hip. So really lowering that body down into the floor. And then we're just going to lift up through the right shoulder. Have a little glimpse underneath the right arm. So pushing that left shoulder down into the floor. Really nice stretch into the shoulder there. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to push that right shoulder down into the floor, lifting up through the left shoulder. Have a little look underneath the arm. And then pushing both shoulders down. We're going to come up onto all fours now. So just walk the hands back in. A little glute stretch for you. Much needed glute stretch. So bringing the right knee up in between the hands and just folding the foot across the left knee, and then just walk that left leg back, leaning into that right glute. We can bring the hands and forearms all the way down if you like, just getting that stretch into the hip. And then just pushing back up onto the hands and then coming back up onto all fours. Same on the other side, so just bringing that left knee in between the hands. Don't know what that noise is. Then folding the foot across and just walking that right leg back. So really leaning into that left glute and then just lowering down to the floor. Sorry, don't open it. That's not open our doorbell, I don't know what it is. Some gadget somewhere. And then pushing back up onto the hands again, and then coming back up onto all fours again. So just walk that leg back in. Knees underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. Let's take it back into our cat stretch. So inhale breath as we exhale. Just bring the chin towards the chest. Have a little look at the tummy button, pushing into the spine there. Inhale, coming to neutral. And then exhale, having a little look about 1 meter in front of you. So just let the neck follow the line of the spine. Don't throw the head back or anything. Inhale it back to neutral. Exhale, pushing up into the spine. Inhale it down. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Stick out the bottom. And then inhale it back to neutral spine. So nice and long through the spine there. We're going to turn the toes underneath again. And we're going to come back up into that little knee hover. So inhale, breath, exhale, hover the knees. And then just start to straighten out through the legs, but not completely. Keep the knees soft and push the head through the arms, keeping that nice bend in the knee there. You feel a nice stretch into the calves. And then keeping the knees soft still, we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. Transfer the weight back to the feet again, and then straighten out through the legs. Relaxing through the head, neck, shoulders, and then just cradling the head. So just grabbing hold of opposite elbows, just going to have a little gentle sway from side to side. Relaxing through the neck. And then we're just going to flop. Take an inhale breath here. Soften through the knees again. Exhale. We're going to scoop the tummy button up and we're going to roll back up and back out. Nice and slowly. Coming back up. Restacking the spine.